And welcome, sports fans, to today's Roundtable. Glad you joined us as we are a couple weeks in now into the spring sports season. You got your baseball, softball, track and field, tennis, soccer taking place throughout the area. And we're still going to be coming to you live every Saturday morning here on YHC and our online platforms to bring you what's happening throughout the week in our local sports in our area. And also we're going to be trying to fit in some interviews, just kind of going back to the long season of fall, winter sports, bringing in some guests over the next few weeks or for the remainder of the school year to just kind of put a bow on this sports season, including the spring sports season as well. So be looking forward to some frequent guests over the next few weeks and for the remainder of this sports season through May. That's what the Roundtable season goes through mid-May to wrap up the sports year for the school year here in 2019. So a lot to get to for the next couple of months with the Roundtable going forward. And today we're going to talk about the spring sports results from the last few days. Also, the final polls have been released for state rankings for boys and girls basketball. We're going to touch on those final polls for the basketball season. And also going to touch on some baseball state rankings. We got baseball state rankings for the preseason that we're going to get to as well. And also we're going to touch on the 1985 Malden boys basketball state championship team. And great team back in '85 from Malden, one of the best teams that we've ever seen here in Southeast Missouri. And also we're going to touch on an interview back in 2014 that we did here on the Roundtable with Robert Ison and Donnie Jenkins from that '85 state championship team. They take us through that '85 season and give us the highlights of that season as well as their journey to that state championship in Columbia back in 1985. So got quite a bit to get to you for today and a great show lined up, especially with that '85 state championship team from Malden. So let's take a look at some results from the last few days in the spring sports season. In high school baseball, the Bernie Mules victory over South Pemiscot 5-4. Also, we have Jonesboro over Kennett 6-0 in a shutout. Jonesboro of Arkansas over Kennett. We have Doniphan over Twin Rivers 6-4 in an Ozark Foothills Conference matchup there. Also, we had New Matter County Central over East Carter County 12-7. New Matter County Central over East Carter. East Prairie over Scott City 4-3 in a close one. We got Notre Dame over Fredericktown 20-10, a slugfest in that one. Notre Dame, one of the best teams in the area this year, especially among the bigger schools. But Notre Dame, a very good team once again this season. Chaffee over Naylor 11-2. Zalma over Puxico in a close one 2-1. Van Buren over Alton 3-1. And take a look at some softball scores from the last few days. Woodland over Crystal City 5-1. Van Buren over Winona 4-2. Greenville over Meadow Heights 4-0. Scott City over Malden 8-4. Bernie over Dexter 9-2. Bloomfield over New Matter County Central in a close one 7-5. Doniphan over Twin Rivers out in the Ozark Foothills 6-2. And Grandview over Oak Ridge big 20-3. And take a look at some boys tennis matches from this week. Dexter over Notre Dame 6-3. And also we have okay, it's only tennis result. Dexter over Notre Dame 6-3. So there's a look at the spring sports results from this week. And had some rain early in the week. Not a whole lot of action earlier in the week, but some good action from the last few days. Hopefully everyone got some of their matches, their contests in from Friday. Had some weather move in late, but probably most got their results in from Friday. And we're going to take a quick break and come back. We're going to come back with some baseball state rankings as well as the final polls for the Missouri basketball season for both boys and girls. And we're going to be back with those polls coming up.
At Glensane, we realize that buying a vehicle is a very big purchase. Our people enjoy visiting with our customers and working every deal to save them money. Customers see these special prices on the internet, but then must have a trade-in, must finance X amount of dollars. At Glensane, we'll show you exactly what price you're going to be giving. We'll show you the Glensane price is better and you'll enjoy your visit. That's what we do at all 4 Glensane locations. Best price, best service. Glensane, and God bless our troops.
At Ag Explorer, we're farmers too. So we know that farming's never been a 9-to-5 job. Just like the farmer, we work overtime to bring you whatever it takes. Solutions like Ison help you retain 47% more nitrogen with an overall average increase of 12 bushels per acre. Imagine what Ison can do for you. Ag Explorer.
And welcome back, and let's take a look at some polls. Let's start with the baseball polls. Let's go with the baseball polls for the state of Missouri. These are preseason, so they're a couple weeks old. Should be a new poll coming out this next week. But taking a look at the preseason polls for Missouri baseball in Class 1 for Missouri Cooter. The Cooter Wildcats, a great perennial program there in Penobscot County. Another great season lined up for the Wildcats, ranked at number 1 in the preseason in Class 1. Number 2, St. Elizabeth. 3, Dora. 4, Northwest. 5, Halfway. 6, Woblue. 7, La Plata. 8, Lakeland. 9, Eminence, the Red Wings out west. And 10, Concordia. So there's your Class 1 preseason rankings for Missouri high school baseball. And in Class 2, we've got Valley Catholic up north at number 1. 2, Russellville. 3, Mansfield. 4, Ellington. 5, Skyline. 6, Lincoln. 7, Vienna. 8, the Chaffee Red Devils. 9, Iberia. And 10, Purdy. And take a look at Class 3 for the preseason rankings. Number 1, Stratford. 2, Holden. 3, Hallsville. 4, South Callaway. 5, West County. 6, Valley Park. 7, Stockton. 8, Summit Christian. 9, Clever. And 10, Montgomery County. So those are the Class 3 rankings. No really any local teams there in the area. And in Class 4, Aurora at number 1. 2, St. Mary's. 3, Booneville. 4, Excelsior Springs. 5, Westminster Academy. 6, Helias Catholic out of Jeff City. 7, Lutheran South. 8, St. Francis Borgia. 9, Cape Girardeau Notre Dame. Notre Dame Bulldogs there at number 9. And number 10, Pembroke Hill. And those are the Class 4 rankings, and those are your rankings. We do have a Class 5, but no really any local teams there in Class 5. So there you are. We will have a new poll coming out this next week from the Missouri Baseball Coaches Association. So we'll be bringing you those rankings each weekend, each Saturday right here on the Sports Roundtable. So we might see some teams itch into that poll. We're seeing some really good teams, especially in Class 2. Portageville's off to a great start. I think they've only got 1 loss on the year so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're in that top 10 poll in Class 2 for the next few weeks. But we'll have the next poll coming out next Saturday for the Roundtable. And now let's take a look at the basketball final polls. Let's start with boys basketball in Class 1 for the final state rankings for the season. Number 1, the Jefferson, I think it was the Eagles, come away with the state championship in Class 1. They had a great run in the mid-2000s, late 2000s, or 2010s, I believe. It might have been the late 2000s. Late 2000s, they had a run of 3 straight titles, and they kind of went away for a while, but they're back in the mix in a strong way this year. They defeated the number 1 ranked team in the state, Dora, in the state championship, and Jefferson of Conception at number 1, finishing the year at 28-4. The Dora Falcons finished second at 30-2. And followed by Winston at number 3, 4 St. Elizabeth, 5 Mound City, 6 Lakeland, 7 Lynn County, 8 Eminence, 9 South Iron, and 10 Risco. So there's your top 10. Risco rounding out the 10th spot there in the top 10. A little curious that South Iron would be ahead of Risco in the rankings when Risco defeated South Iron in the sectionals. A little strange there, but South Iron was probably in the rankings for most of the year, and Risco wasn't. That's probably the case. But Risco making a quarterfinal appearance, lost out to Dora, and finished out the top 10 with the Risco Tigers at number 10. Taking a look at Class 2, Greenwood, state champions for Class 2 this year, knocked off the Oran Eagles in that championship game, and they're Oran at number 2, finishing the year at 30-2. Another great year for the Oran Eagles, almost winning their second state championship in 3 years. Just come up a bit short, but finished with a second place runner-up. And followed by Van Far, the defending Class 2 state champions. They lost out to Oran in that semifinal round, finished up with third place over at Springfield in the Final Four. They're at number 3, 4 Plattsburgh, 5 Hartville, 6 Mansfield, 7 Milan, 8 the Porterville Bulldogs, making a great run, finishing up at 22-7 on the year, and made a quarterfinal appearance. Lost to Oran in the quarterfinals over at Poplar Bluff at Three Rivers College, but a great run by the Porterville Bulldogs this season. Number 9 Marionville and 10 Adrian for the Class 2 final poll. And Class 3, the Vashon Wolverines running away with the state championship, finishing up at 25-5. They knocked off Springfield Catholic in the championship game, who follows at number 2. Charleston Blue Jays making a great run. They finish up at 21-11 and finishing off with third place at Springfield in the state Final Four. Lost to Vashon in that semifinal round, but another great run by the Charleston Blue Jays, finishing third in Class 3. 4 St. Paul Lutheran, 5 Monroe City, 6 Trinity Catholic, 7 Blair Oaks, 8 Cardinal Ritter, 9 Maryville, and 10 Centralia, rounding out the top 10 in Class 3. Now in Class 4, take a look at the Class 4 poll. Grandview winning the state championship out of Kansas City. They finished 29-2. 2 St. Mary's with the runner-up in that championship game. They finished at number 2 at 18-13. Ladue, Horton, Watkins at number 3. 4 Logan Rogersville. 5 Southeast Kansas City. 6 the Cape Central Tigers, finishing off a great season at 26-4. They lost to St. Mary's in that quarterfinal round, a game that we brought live to you from Jefferson College in Hillsboro. And Cape Central finishing the year at number 6. They were pretty much at number 2 and number 3 all season long, but falling to St. Mary's in that quarterfinal round. Followed by Sykeston at number 7, finishing their season at 25-1. Their lone loss to Cape Central in that district championship in Class 4 District 1, a game that we brought live to you there at the end of February. Sykeston undefeated season came to an end against Cape Central. And Sykeston was pretty much the number 1 ranked team in the state all year, except for the final poll. But another great season by Sykeston, just come up short in that district championship. Number 8, Farmington, finishing off a strong year at 25-3. They fell to Cape Central in the sectionals up in Farmington. Number 9, Sullivan, and 10, Hillsboro. And we don't have a Class 5. We didn't mention a Class 5 poll since we didn't have any local teams there. But Poplar Bluff making a great run. Fell in the district championship to Jackson. Jackson went into the sectional round, lost to Melville. So Jackson came out with an impressive district championship and just losing into the sectional round. So no local teams there in Class 5 and that final poll. So that pretty much puts a bow on. We mentioned the all-state teams last week. Local players that made the all-state teams in last week's roundtable. You can check that out online to check out those all-state teams, and now the final state rankings for this basketball season. So the season behind us now with all-state and final polls now released. So it was a great basketball season. We had a great run here on YHC as well. Some of the best games we've ever had were this year, the 2018 and 2019 season. And we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back and show off the 1985 Malden Boys State Championship team. We've got a nice segment we did back in 2014 on the Sports Roundtable with Robert Ison and Donnie Jenkins from that state championship team. We're going to come back with that next.
If you or your loved one has disabilities that cause you to need a little help, Boot Hill Area Independent Living Services can provide the assistance you need. At Bales, we want you to have control of your life and assist you in thriving in an independent lifestyle. The Consumer-Directed Services Program allows you, the consumer, to choose who assists you in conducting your daily activities. Bales serves Stoddard, Dunklin, New Madrid, and Pemiscot counties. Call or visit our office in Kennett to see how we can help you maintain your independence.
And welcome back, and now let's take a look at the Malden 1985 Boys Basketball State Championship team. And as I mentioned, we're going to do quite a bit of things looking back, some recaps over some previous seasons, even this season. Get some guests in and talk about many things to wrap up the Roundtable season for the next few months. And now we're going to show a segment we did back in 2014, the spring of 2014. We had in Robert Ison and Donnie Jenkins of the Malden 1985 State Championship team to take us on a journey through that wonderful season for the Malden Green Wave that year. Come away with a state championship and talk about the ins and outs of the team and all the players that made up that team. A great team back in 1985 was the Malden Green Wave, and we got a segment with Robert Ison and Donnie Jenkins from that season. So let's take a look at that segment. And it looks like we got it right here. All right, let's take a look. And we're back, and we're along with two members of the 1985 Malden Class 3A Boys State Championship basketball team. We've got Robert Ison here in the middle, and on the outside we got Donnie Jenkins. And guys, it's good to have you along with us today.
Good to be here.
It's been a long time, 85 to 2014. We finally got you on TV to talk about it.
Right. Yeah, almost 30 years later, huh?
Yeah, it's getting up there. Yeah. So, we talk about past basketball teams and the greatness, between Charleston, Scott County Central, and all these local teams that we've got. And the 85 Malden State Championship team always sticks out in people's minds. Everybody talks about, well, you can't leave out Malden. Malden's only got the one state title, but hey, that 85 Malden team, that's what people always bring up when it comes to the teams back in the 80s and 90s.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in '85, of course, I was a junior. Donnie was a senior, and it was a pretty good team. I mean, we had the size, we had speed. We had like Donnie, a couple other kids that could shoot. So, and just about everybody on the team was pretty athletic. So it was a good team.
Yeah, it certainly was. Donnie was mainly the point guard, shooting guard for the team. Shooting guard. Yeah. And we've got some footage of that here. We're going to show in just a moment. Not yet, but you'll see Donnie, do his thing, and he's quite the player. And Robert, you man the inside with Ray Pugh. You were known as the Twin Towers down low for that team.
Yes. Me and Ray, I mean, we just played on the block. Which Ray, he could shoot from outside a little bit, but I always played with my back to the basket. And of course, Donnie, when he crossed half court, he was in range. So, if there had been a 3-point line, I think Donnie would have set a lot of records.
Yeah, that's one thing. We've got the footage, and I was working on it, and that's one thing. The first thing I saw when I went out on the court, no 3-point line, and that was right around that time when it was starting to come in, but not quite yet there in '85.
Right. I remember it coming in. I want to say my sophomore year at Three Rivers. I remember walking on the court one day for practice and seeing that 3-point line. I'm thinking, what is that? But yeah, I remember it coming into play. I was a sophomore in college, which I mean, it never was a big thing for me because I always played with my back to the basket and not facing the basket. So, that was put in for people like Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie, we see him, boy. He shoot that thing out there about an NBA range. So, yeah, he certainly had the range. Now, Donnie, you played at that level, and you went on to play at the college level as well. So, yes. just tell us about your experience playing in that '85 season.
It was something that you can remember. It just like yesterday, and I can remember, playing. I remember, I think I scored like the first 8 points Ray hadn't even touched the ball, and he was over there fussing because he hadn't touched the ball. You know, I was hot. You know, so let me shoot, Ray. You get the rebound. But it was fun. I mean, we had fun, and I mean, like I said, we come out on top. You know, start of the season, we didn't ever think we was gonna be there, but we just kept going, kept playing, and we ended up there.
Yeah, certainly did. And well, I tell you, this Class 3 district that was there in the 80s with you all, Nevada County Central, and Charleston, very competitive. And we'll take a look at this graphic if we can take a look at that. In a 10-year span from 83 to 92, the state champions, 8 of the 10 state champions from 83 to 92. Came from that Class 3 district with you all, Charleston, and Nevada County Central. As we're taking a look at some footage here, the 10-year span, 83 to 92, 8 of the 10 years, you all in 85, and a couple other years from other teams won the state championship there from Class 3 District 1. So it was a very competitive district.
Right, and that 3A district down here in southeast Missouri has always been competitive. I mean, even back then it was competitive. We talk about our team quite a bit, but I think back on our team, and probably one thing that really made it a special team is all the guys on there, we all got along.
Yeah.
I mean, we all hung out with each other off the court and away from school, and I mean, we was like a family. So I think that was one of the biggest things about our team. We didn't have anyone on that team that was selfish.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to win. So,
Sure.
Everybody just did their part.
Yeah, and we'll go over this footage again to kind of point all the players out that's shown in the video, and this 85 team, this is the only state championship in the school's history. But you look back there in the 80s, this might have been the best team there in that that 80s decade that came from southeast Missouri. It seemed like y'all had it all. Y'all had the big guys underneath, you, Robert, and Ray Pugh, and on the outside, Donnie and a couple. I can't remember the other couple others y'all had.
Lewis and
Tracy Stone.
Yeah, Billy Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we could get that graphic up, the 1983 through 1992 of that graphic, and taking a look here. Here are the state champions from 83 to 92 in this 10-year span. And in the gold there are the teams from the Class 3 district. Charleston there in 83, 84 McKinley out of St. Louis, 85 UAll, 86 and 87 Charleston. New Madrid got theirs in 88. Charleston won it 2 years in a row again there in 89 and 90. In the 90 team, Charleston undefeated. And Festus won at 91, but then again, Charleston in 92. So Charleston got, they were the breadwinner there in the 80s, yeah. But that in all those teams, you all came out of that Class 3 district. So you all dominated the state of Missouri for the most part there through the 80s.
Actually, we read about that McKinley team. They already had their hotels reserved, before they even played the game, So that kind of got us fired up when we went up there,
Because that was the 84 year that they won, and they were going to repeat in 85.
Yeah, repeat in 85. And they already had the hotels reserved in Columbia before they even played us.
Yeah. Did they hand all that information to
y'all? I don't think.
Here's room number in.
The coach was in the newspaper. He was like, "Where is Malden?
Yeah.
What is a Greenway?"
Yeah.
He had us hyped up before we got to play them, and I mean, we just come out the locker room and jump over.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what hit them, And they had two good guys, two or three good guys that went on. I think they went on to play pro.
Yeah, well,
they went to
one kid played it. Well, both of them I think went on to play at St. Louis U.
Yeah.
Which they had two kids that at that time were Division I prospects, big time Division I prospects, and I remember the best one on that team was Monroe Douglas, and both of them kids went on to play at St. Louis U. So, and the other kid was Roland Gray. Which Roland Gray was probably about 6'8", 6'8", 6'9", somewhere in there. And Monroe Douglas, he's more of a 6'4", 6'5" kid that was very athletic. So, yeah, they kind of poked fun as where in Malden. What is a Greenway?
Well, the wave rolled, didn't it?
Wave rolled. We kind of took that to heart. I mean, we didn't mind being considered, country kids from down here in the Boot Hill, so that kind of fired us up, them poking fun and making fun of us. So, and I think Ray, he got all the interviews with the newspapers and stuff, so at the end they said Pugh is outspoken. So Ray kind of told them where Malden was and where the Greenway was and all that, so it worked out good.
Yeah, sure did. And we're going to take a look at your championship run, and you mentioned McKinley, and that was probably y'all's toughest game along the way there. As starting out with the first off, we want to talk about the district championship. We don't have it on here. The district championship, you all beat New Madrid, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. And that was a close one.
Yeah, about 2 points.
Actually,
I think it was 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2.
So Kenny Farr threw up the last second shot and hit it from half court. So we ended up beating them by 2.
That's how y'all won?
No, that's how they. Well, I still maybe it was 3-pointer. It'd been different because he hit a half court shot to end the game.
And we wound up winning by 2.
Yeah.
Was that the winning shot that put y'all ahead?
Right. Well, no. What Donnie is saying is that New Madrid had the last second shot.
Oh, they had the last
So if
second
there had been a 3-point line, so we lost by 1.
Okay.
But he threw it up from half court.
The tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Went in overtime from there.
Yeah.
Okay, and y'all won by 2 in overtime. So wow. And we were talking before we came on that y'all actually lost to them in the Papa Bluff Showdown earlier that year. Is that right?
Yes, that's the only team in the state of Missouri that beat us that year with New Madrid. We played 3 times. We beat them twice, and they beat us once.
So yeah, that's that one time probably helped to get over that hump the next time.
Yeah. I remember that being an emotional time for us when we lost to New Madrid in that Poplar Bluff tournament, which that was a championship of that tournament. And every year we always began our season at Jonesboro, what they called the Wendy's Hurricane Classic back then, and we played a couple of teams out of Memphis and then lost to them. So we come back and lost to the New Madrid there in Poplar Bluff. It was really emotional to lose that game, and after that, I mean, we just rolled from there. And also, that was our first year Malden beat Charleston.
13 years.
13 years. We wound up beating Charleston by 1. I can remember that play. I think Bobby Lewis shot it, and it was short. And Donnie here flew in and tipped it in, and we beat them 51-50. So that was a big feat that year too.
The old hangar was packed that night. Had to put chairs on stage, and I mean it was a good game, to beat Charleston.
Yeah.
And then later on that year when we went to state, I read in the newspaper where Coach McFerrin said that we sent the right team up there to state. He watched us play. He said, well, that was the right team we sent up there that year. I mean, had to be a compliment coming from Coach Mack, one of the winningest coaches around here.
Yeah. Well, he had his fair share. So
he did. Had some good teams. He sure did.
Yeah. And going back to that graphic of your state championship run, as you beat New Madrid in the districts, went to sectional round, defeated Fredericktown 79-38, and no problem there with the Fredericktown Black Cats. No. Had no problem with them in the sectional round. The quarterfinal round, as you mentioned, McKinley, had a little game there, 68-59 victory, and not real close, but probably definitely your closest game throughout the state tournament. They were the defending state champions.
That's correct. Yeah, that was the quarterfinals was the closest game we had played coming out of the district. So, and then when we played Waynesville, I think that was like a 40 point victory.
Yeah, bring that graphic back up there. Waynesville in the semifinals defeated them 89-49. Took care of them pretty quick there in the semifinals. Then the championship game, defeated Lutheran North 88-67. 21-point victory, and not much, not much competition there either. So
I remember after that Waynesville game, a coach, I guess everybody that was scouting was only told him about Ray P. And he put it in the newspaper. Only one y'all kept saying I had to worry about was Ray P. He said, but that Jenkins kid and that Ison kid, some ball players too.
Yeah, but y'all had it all that year.
He talked about the guards being unselfish too.
We had some good teammates. I think about Tracy Stone and Glenn Burnett and Billy Jones,
Bobby Lewis.
I mean, all those guys, we couldn't have done without them. And I mean, like Donnie said, our guards were unselfish. I mean, they didn't mind giving up the ball, and they didn't care about scoring. I mean, they just wanted to win.
Yeah, because I think me, you, and Ray averaged 60 points both of them championship games. The rest of them come from the other guy.
Yeah. And let's go back to that footage. We're going to try to point out some of the players here, so all the folks out there know who's who out there when it comes to this photo. And here we go. State championship game, 1985, in the Hearn Center in Columbia. And pretty packed crowd as we see Donnie getting underway here, puts up a shot, gets his own rebound, and he goes up with the left hand and getting the Green Wave started off here in the beginning. We see Ray Pugh here with the jumper on the baseline, and started out a little slow.
Yeah.
I know y'all jumped out, got down like 6-0, and we see a jumper here. And was that you? That was Donnie there. I think that was Donnie right there. But here's Robert getting a little basket there underneath, starting to dominate the paint in this game. And now we see Robert here again getting a rebound, putting it right back up and in. And later on here, this is the second half. Seeing down under, and I think that one might have been Pugh there. Was that Pugh there?
No, that was Donnie.
Was that Donnie there?
That was
Oh,
Donnie
okay, that was
down.
Donnie. And we see Tracy Stone getting out on his own there with a breakaway layup.
Tracy was quick and had quick hands.
Yep. And there's a basket underneath. And here's a long one. I didn't see who threw that one, but it's down to
Showtime.
Pugh here.
Ray Pugh.
And threw it down.
Yeah.
Who was that with the assist on that? I didn't see. I couldn't tell who inbounded that, but that was pretty much the dagger there towards the end of the game. Ray Pugh throws it down.
In that game, I think Donnie would come out and hit the first 8.
Yeah,
First 10 points.
First eight points there.
And you see there a packed crowd in the Hearn Center, and you can even see the KML banner across the way
I saw
there
from the
with
side.
the radio.
Remember Dave Green?
Yeah.
Had said Luther North 8, Donnie Jenkins 8.
So just some footage there from that game, and I tell you, it was a packed crowd. Y'all had the crowd there, there in the Hearn Center in Columbia, and taking care of Lutheran North. You just dominated the state championship. I'm sure going in that state tournament, you didn't think it was going to be that easy of a road, but it certainly come out to be.
No, I didn't. I never thought it would be that easy, and I think it didn't really sink in what we had accomplished until we got back home and had, like a homecoming when we got back. But no, I didn't. I never would have guessed it was going to be that easy.
Yeah, and that just goes to show the talent that Class 3A district had, and basically you win the state championship in the district tournament the way it was there in the 80s.
That against New Magic. And they said they figured we too had the best team around. We could put guys off of each team together and probably beat some of the junior colleges that was around this area.
Yeah, because you take a look at those highlights, Donnie. That one of the first highlights there. You shoot it, get your own rebound, and then split up and go with the left. I mean, you don't see very many high school players make that play.
Yeah.
And he certainly had that ability. And now, Robert, you stand at what, about 6'4"?
Yeah, I was 6'4".
6'4". Now Ray, how big was Ray?
Ray was 6'4".
6'4". So high school level, you got two 6'4"s underneath. As long as you guys were.
Yeah, we were long, and Ray, not only was he 6'4", he was really athletic.
Yeah.
Ray could also handle the ball and shoot it, so that made a big difference. I mean, me and him at 6'4", Donnie 5'11". You had Bobby Lewis 6 foot. Then we had a couple of kids on the bench. I mean, Jeff Parker, I think, was like 6'2". That come off the bench.
Yeah,
so
Alan
Marshall, he's about 6'1", 6'2". So I mean, we had good size.
Yeah, certainly did. And, like we spoke of earlier, well-rounded team, the guard play, the inside, the rebounding. And as you watch this game, y'all didn't take that many shots outside. It seemed like y'all had y'all's way in the paint. Whether it was Donnie and the other guys driving in, or you guys cleaning up rebounds, or just throwing it down to you guys in the post. Y'all pretty much owned the paint.
Right. we mentioned earlier about the guards being unselfish. I mean, they were. I mean, they played defense, and you had people like Tracy Stone, who was quick. Billy Jones, he was quick, and Glenn Burnett, he wasn't, not really quick, but he's a good ball handler, made good decisions with the ball. So, I mean, they gave it up all the time, and I was just one of them people. If I saw Donnie shooting or Ray shooting, whoever shooting, I just go try to get a rebound in case they miss. So, and I think that was a big thing with our team that you don't see a lot today. You get a lot of kids just watch. Ball go inside, and if the ball goes inside these days, that's a lost art too. But anyway, they may throw it inside, the kids shoot it, and people on the outside just stand there and watch. We wasn't like that. I mean, we didn't never take off on the plays. Ball go up, everybody went to the boards like it was going to be a miss.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it sure does. And you talk about your record that year, 30-3. You mentioned New Madrid County Central loss earlier in the year, and that was your only loss to an in-state team in Missouri. And talk about your other two losses you had.
I was down in that Wendy Classic.
There,
played a couple teams out of Tennessee. I remember one was Bolton, Tennessee. That's the first game of the season.
That's correct.
And I think they had a kid on there went pro.
Yeah, I want to say his last name was Tate. He played a little pro ball, and I think he played college ball at Arkansas State. He was like a 6'9", 250-pound kid, which back in them days was huge. I mean, being 6'4", you was tall back in them days. So like I tell my kids now, back then 6'4", they wanted you on the block with your back to the basket. Now, 6'4", you're going to be a guard at the next level.
Yeah.
And so I'm in high school, so, it's really changed from back when we played.
Yeah, 6'9", 250, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a hoss.
You didn't have really many wide guys then. As we see there, you guys were pretty thin back in that day.
Yeah.
You didn't see the Shaquille O'Neal types around. But 6'9", 250, that'd be a hoss to run into. And y'all talk about the teams y'all are playing and the teams that y'all are playing against and having to lose to, having potential pro talent. So, that just shows you what it took to take on you guys.
Yeah.
So, that's something to certainly look back on. And talk about your coach a little bit, Gary Scott.
Randy
Scott. Yeah,
Scott.
Randy Scott, and just tell us about your coach back in that day. I mean, what was his style? What was what was his coaching style?
Most of the coaching style he wanted to play zone, and I can remember when we got ready to play Charleston. He come out and said we was gonna set up in the zone, and we was in the huddle, and we was like, no, we gonna play man to man, and he was like, do y'all think y'all can handle it man to man? I said, well, they gonna have to handle us too, because we wasn't gonna back down from them, and we went out and played them man to man, and like I said, 13 years. We finally beat them after 13 years. And he kind of, at first he had a range on me. He didn't want me shooting. He wanted to put it inside the Ray and Robert. And I had a talk with him. I said, hey man, I can shoot the ball. We're gonna have to open it up so we can get it to Ray and Robert sometime. Because most teams gonna pack in on Ray and Robert. So you're gonna need somebody that can shoot it from the outside. But I mean, and he realized that, and he told me to practice on my shot and gave me the key, to take the shots. But we had fun with him. Sometimes he probably got mad at us, but we always had fun with him.
He got mad at Donnie. Donnie kind of remind me of my youngest boy. Kind of remind me of Donnie when it comes to shooting. It's not a shot he didn't like. So. I mean, Coach Scott, he did good with with the talent on his team and his strategies. I mean, we had like a 1-3-1 zone that we played that was pretty effective because we were so long.
We had a press.
Yeah,
we pressed a lot.
So
and at length works to the advantage there too.
Right, right. And he would let us use our talents. He wouldn't try to like Ray. Ray was athletic. He was a dunker. He wouldn't tell Ray. You couldn't dunk. So he was kind of let us use our talents and let us do the things that we could do.
Yeah, and that's one thing you hear about the '85 team. You talk about people that watch so much basketball over the years for the dunks back in '85. Just some gym rattling jams from the '85 Malden team.
Yeah.
I can remember Coach Scott's famous word to me, "Hey, don't be jacking that thing up out there like that." I laugh at that sometimes, After I got out of school, I messed with him about it a lot, though.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a good time. Like I said, we all got along, and it was like a family. It was like your second family. Everybody got along on the court, off the court. Sometimes we may have had our differences on things, but we worked them out and went on. So, it was nice to be in that atmosphere.
Yeah, and not to mention not forgetting to mention Malden won the Sportsmanship Award that year, along with the state championship.
You don't see that happen very often, do you? Win a state championship and then you get a Sportsmanship Award, but that means a lot too. So I was glad we won that.
Yeah, well, it's easy to be humble and sportsmanlike when you're just rolling over everybody. There's not much to complain about, is there?
Yeah, we had a bunch of fans up there too, so they followed it up there. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, that's
pretty good time.
You talk to Malden people there that's been in the community for years, and they look back on different things in the community, and they'll almost always say the '85 Malden basketball team. That always is there when it comes to Malden's history. Yeah. So that's a tribute to you guys and what you all did in that time, and y'all still around Malden. Robert, you're the principal there.
Yes.
At the high school, and Donnie still living there in Malden, and you've been on the city council before and things like that. So these guys are still around, and good amount of you went on to the next level and played basketball at the next level.
Yeah.
And you went to Three Rivers, as you mentioned earlier.
I played 2 years at Three Rivers. Like I say, when we won a state championship, I was a junior. My senior year in high school, we finished 22-6, but I had a good year as a senior, and I ended up going to Three Rivers for 2 years, played there 2 years, and then I transferred to Union University down there in Jackson, Tennessee, and played 2 more years. So, I had a good experience at playing college ball. Going through high school, and I was going to play NBA. I was going to play NBA, and I'd go through high school, and that first practice at college, I step out there, and I'm thinking, whoa, you talking about a whole different. I was a kid growing up 6'4" and playing with my back to the basket all the time.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, I a lot of times would have to guard or try to post up a kid that was 6'11". So it was a big battle for me and a big change for me. But like I said, I played 4 years and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, you talk about Three Rivers. That's a national program.
Yes.
At the junior college level. So you're playing amongst the elite when it comes to junior colleges. So playing with Gene Bess, you're playing at that level.
Right. That's
and
correct.
Donnie, you went on to play at a couple schools too.
Yeah. Southern Baptist down in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. I think I was a freshman leading scorer there. I think I averaged like 17 points a game. Like you said, I played against Best. Like you said, that's a tough team to play against. But I had quite a few people that know me from Malden come to me after the game because we played in Walnut Ridge, and they come talk to me. They still remember me from playing in Malden.
Yeah. Yeah, Walnut Ridge. Southern Baptist is now known as Williams Baptist. Yeah. And it was a junior college then. Now it's a 4-year NAIA school, I believe. So y'all guys went on to the next level and pretty much maxed out. Maxed out when it comes to your basketball days. And even Ray Pugh went on to the next level, played some. And anybody else from the team play on at the next level at all?
No, we were the only three. As a matter of fact, you talk about Ray. when Ray finished at SEMO. He finished at SEMO. He was All-American at SEMO, and when he finished there, he actually had a tryout with the Philadelphia 76ers. And that was back when Charles Barkley was playing for the 76ers, and Ray made the last cut with the 76ers, and then after that he played a spell, and I think they had the CBA back then.
Yeah,
so
he played with John Starks and
yeah, he
Mason.
sure did. Yeah, he sure did. He played with
he played on
John.
the same team they played on. So some part of Iowa.
Yeah, I want to say Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So he had a season or two in the CBA, and probably would have eventually, might have made it to the NBA. He was just that good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at SEMO he played two guard. Ray was 6'4", two guard. So, that could, like I say, could shoot it, handle the ball, and play good defense. So he was athletic.
Yeah. Was he one of the SEMO teams that played in the championship game?
Yeah,
National championship?
Second.
Yeah, second.
Yeah.
I can't remember what year that was. Maybe was it 80?
I want to say, yeah. Well, I wanted to say, yeah, 80. I want to say 87, 86, 87, because it was his freshman year at SEMO.
Yeah.
And that's back when they had
Ronnie
Rankins and all them guys, Riley Ellis. They played that Division II championship in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And finished second.
I talked to a guy that played, old Tony Walford out of New Mexico, played at SEMO, and he said every freshman that comes in SEMO wanted to break Ray Pugh's record. So that's all they wanted to do was break Ray Pugh's record. So, it kind of surprised me one time. I went to the mall in Cape, went to the sports shop, and here Ray jerseys. They selling Ray Pugh jerseys like they got the NBA jerseys. They had SEMO jersey with his number on it and Pugh on the back of it. They were selling his jerseys up there.
Yeah. Can't do that anymore.
No.
Yeah, that was a different time then. So, Ray Pugh sticks out in people's mind playing, deep into, college and even professional ranks, and these two guys playing at the next level, and left a legacy, that's for sure. People always talk about in the rich tradition in Southeast Missouri basketball, especially high school basketball, and you talk about the past Scott County teams, the Charleston teams, and the '85 Malden team will always stick out, and it's just a tribute to what these guys did in their time there at Malden. And you guys had kids that's being competitive in sports as well. Donnie, your son Dontre Jenkins played over at New Madrid and went up to William Woods University there in Fulton, and he's actually now finished up his career and even playing with a team going overseas some. So maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, he's leaving June 7th. He'll be over there for 10 days. He got picked to go over there and play in this sub-type Olympic deal over there. So he'll be over there 10 days playing ball over there. And he went up to William Wood. He broke the all-time leading assist record up there. So he held that record up there. And he told me he was going to probably try to impress him over there, try to stay over there and play if he can. If he want to play overseas.
Yeah, Dontre was a good talent. There at New Madrid, one of the best around. Certainly when it comes to the guard play, and that's good that we got his 4 years. He's wanting to coach, I believe, isn't he?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he's going to probably try to play a little bit more ball.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that'd be great, and it's great he's being able to go overseas, and it's an American team, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Team of American college players playing overseas, and Robert, you got a son that's in high school playing ball now.
Trevor? Trevor. I got two boys in high school. Trevor's a sophomore, and Tyler is a freshman. Just rooting for him to keep growing.
Yeah. Well, the Trevor's starting to, he's got the ice inside so far. It looks like he's what?
Well, Trevor's 6'5". Now, I was telling Donnie and them on the way up here that it seemed like he grows, all the time. I can remember, I thought last week me and him were standing beside each other, and I thought we were the same size, and then we took a picture at school this week, and he's about a head taller than me now, so I'm just rooting for both of them to keep growing.
Yeah.
Trevor, he had a good season this year. You know, he played varsity, and for his size right now, he's a decent shooter. And like I tell both of them, just work on putting on. You want to be a good shooter, put up shots. So they usually go to the gym every morning before school and shoot. So if they keep doing that, it'll pay off for them.
Yeah, which Malden can use some size. They've had a little stretch here with mostly athletic guard play, but Trevor coming along with some size, it'll certainly help out the Green Wave going forward. So, anything else guys would like to share about your experience back in '85, or maybe give a shout out to anyone out there that helped y'all along the way, or just anything at all?
I'd like to thank the community. I mean, they followed us through high school and when we made the run, and gave us a lot of support. My coach back then, Randy Scott, he was always good to us, and looked out for us.
Mickey White. Mickey White helped us out a lot too.
Yeah.
He was the girls' coach. They lost in Cape, and after that he stayed on behind the bench and helped Coach Scott out a lot.
Yeah. And and the guys we played with. You never can say enough about the Tracy Stones, the Bobby Lewises, the Billy Jones, the Al Marshalls, Glenn Burnett, and all them guys.
Cole.
Yeah, Paul Cole. I mean, Jeff Parker. All them guys made it possible. So you never want to leave them out.
Yeah, totally a team effort. That '85 team was, and certainly one of the best teams around when it comes to Southeast Missouri in high school basketball. And we're going to be showing that full game. We're going to have it coming up next here at 11 o'clock or so here on YHC. You can watch the full championship game of Malden defeating Lutheran North coming up, and we're going to be playing that throughout next week as well. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to catch that here on YHC, the full championship game from back in 1985. You can even catch it online. We'll have it probably over the weekend, available on YHCTV.com and SEMOSportZone.com. So it's going to be fun to watch that, and you might even give a little. You might get a little feedback this week, so be ready for it.
There'll probably be someone come to school and tell me, Mr. Ison, seen you in them little shorts. Which you talked earlier, and you was talking about how little we were. I mean, we were long and lanky and little, but I guess back then we wasn't like kids are now. They lift a lot of weights, body conditioning. We hardly ever did that. We just played a lot of basketball.
I did a little bit playing football, I did, but not during basketball season.
I was kidding with these guys. You've heard of the bigger, faster, stronger program. I don't think they had that then. It was just the faster program because they weren't big and probably strong, but they didn't have the build as some of the guys do today. So it was just basically just putting that ball in the hole at that point. Yeah. So. We thank you guys for coming on today. It's been fun, and we see you guys all the time. Donnie does some basketball games with us. You can always see him around at Malden basketball game, or Robert's there at the high school with being a principal, and we see you guys all the time. It's good to have you guys on and share with everybody your experience back in '85 and be able to show this championship game for this week, and it's good to look back and appreciate the talent here in our communities, and y'all certainly were the cream of the crop there in '85, and we appreciate you guys coming on and sharing with us.
Glad to be here.
All right, that's Robert Ison, Donnie Jenkins. Be sure to give them a hard time when you're out and seeing them. So tell these guys that you appreciate watching them here on YHC. And as you see there, a good time back in 2014 we had here on the Roundtable with Robert Ison and Donnie Jenkins. A great team back in that 1985 season. And we've got that game, and we're going to show that coming up next, coming up at around 12, probably around 12:45 as we go off the air here. And if you're watching on Facebook or online, we're going to actually push that out as a Facebook Live as well. Through our Facebook page here just momentarily as well, if you want to watch that on Facebook. And go onto our website. You can watch that through our website as well at YHCTV.com. We'll have that available to watch here in just a few minutes as well at YHCTV.com. And it will air right here on Channel 21 here in just a few minutes at around 12:45 as we go off the air here. We're going to show it a few more times throughout the weekend as well. right here on YHC. So plenty of opportunities to watch it. Just check our schedule online, our website, or on the scroll during the day, and we'll have that available to watch plenty of times throughout this week. So if you're watching on Facebook, we will have it on a Facebook Live here momentarily. So check that out as well. A great season and a great game there ended at Hearn Center in Columbia back in 1985. The Malden 85 state championship team. We'll have that in just a few moments. But that's going to wrap up today's Roundtable. Glad you joined us for today. And we're going to show that game here momentarily. But appreciate everyone tuning in for the Roundtable. We're going to have many more guests throughout the remainder of the Roundtable season as we pretty much wrap up the season in late May, as we pretty much stick with the school year, take the summer off, and back in the fall. So got quite a bit left for the spring sports season, and more guests to go here on the Sports Roundtable for the next few months. So that'll do it for us today. I'm Tyler Widener. Wish you to have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.